Yeah, thank you. So maybe in few minutes, let all of them join up, and I can also go ahead and start off, because today, I'll be discussing about, I should say, a certain introduction to what exactly will be philosophical assumptions. That was number one that I really wanted to do today. For those who are not attending the other workshops of mine, so it will become very difficult. So this is something that I wanted to do. After that, I would be introducing to what we call it as the qualitative methodologies, and this is something. And since okay, I'm so sorry about my spelling mistake. It is qualitative methodologies. That would be the second topic of mine, and because it requires understanding of certain philosophical assumptions as to how the entire thing would go ahead, so I would be discussing the philosophical assumptions. That's number two. Number three, I would be introducing to all of you what I call it as qualitative designs. And I hope all of you must have got the study material, the readings that I have given. However, Gokul has just shared few only. I have shared a lot. What I'll do, I have noted down your mail ID. So today you will be getting a good number of reading materials also side by side. Now, apart from qualitative designs, I would be completing, because yesterday there were certain discussions about designs and samplings also. So I think if time permits me, I would love to even introduce qualitative sampling, as you are able to see in, I would say, in the quantitative areas. Now here also we have got, so these are some of the things which I'm planning to complete, and hopefully I would be able to today, after the this particular session, I would be sharing all the images which I have collected, number one. Number two, I would be even giving you the books which really focuses. I think yesterday, no, he is not there today. I cannot see him. Anubha is there, Abhishek is there, Gokul is there, Indrajit, hi, good evening. Nimisha ma'am is also there, Yasmin. I think there was one person, is it Ravi? I don't know who asked me about the sample size, as to how many interviews should be taken. So all those things, would be discussed, and I would appreciate that, yes, when some of you are joining up these kind of workshops, since the team is, I mean, the group is very small, so it becomes a pampered group for me. Number two. Number three, then I'm aware of the questions that each one of you is asking me, or when you go for your further research in the any of the universities, these kind of things really help you, not only help you for your future studies, even for let's say small publications. Now you see, when I am taking, it's not just that I'm focusing on faculties that yes, they should only go, because this is the biggest I would say the issue with all these scholars. Whenever I meet them in some or the other workshops or the faculty development programs, when they are there, the first cribbing point that they tell me is that we do not know how to publish, number one. Number two, it becomes very difficult. So in fact, I would say that either with your guide or without your guide, if you know the techniques and the methods to perform a research or conduct your own research, whether it is funded or non-funded. In fact, on the last day, or maybe next week, when we would be going ahead with another workshop, let me decide, then you can really focus on how to get the I would say your this thing fund, and you can really, use it properly. And I think students are scholars who are there. And if you feel that yes, we are not working anywhere, and apart from the JRF money that you have got, if you are able to get some kind of a funding for your own research also, you can definitely. The only condition is that you should know the methodologies, you should know how to choose certain things, how to apply certain things, and then proceed further. So across the globe, when I keep interacting with various scholars, not just in India, because I am doing certain work, some projects at the global level, and when I am interacting with those students and the faculties also side by side, I see the kind of zeal, the seriousness, the earnestness. And therefore, when I started off my journey with research methodology, I would say that it was nearly 6 years that I dedicated myself. In the sense that apart from teaching, I started saying no to everything else. I stopped thinking everything else, and I just surrendered myself to one person, rather than just going hayway from one training program to the other. In that manner, what happens is that the person is able to give it to you certain things in a particular manner, and you are actually, I mean, if you feel that yes, I am giving you the genuine and the authentic learning areas for you, and you are able to understand them properly, I would say that because majority of the time I prefer that I'm giving away the workshops wherein the students, scholars, or in fact I would say right from MA level, the post graduation level onwards, the seriousness has to be there in the scholar, so that they are proceeding further with academics. Now, most probably, I'm thinking after this one more workshop wherein I need to go ahead and give you the exposure. I'm just waiting for 2 more individuals to join, and once they join, I'll be starting off with this one. In the meantime, I thought, okay, let me just share with you about my future ventures also. I was thinking that immediately after this, start off with the what do you call these softwares also side by side, so that some of you who are seriously into the research area, when I see that yes, they are taking care of it, why not? For example, Excel is one of the appropriate tool that I find it out, which is commonly present. However, students and scholars do not know how to use it. So, one can be on Excel. Then I would definitely go ahead and introduce to you certain methodologies which are used. For example, in qualitative, in another 2 days, I would be introducing. Similarly, in quantitative also, we have SPSS, Excel is there. Then we use AMOS, for example, if you are planning to go for a higher end for regression. Now for students, some of the softwares are available absolutely free, or at a very concessional rate also it is available. So I was thinking that side by side, it should not be just the theoretical understanding for us. We should be able to I should be able to give you that exposure also side by side to some of them. So I'll be choosing two softwares in a particular workshop, and let's see how to. One would definitely will be Excel, because that is easily available for each one of us, and one can understand how to do the basic data analysis. Then going ahead with R is also there, Python is also there, which are free sources for us, and we don't have to spend a lot of money on that. However, there are certain softwares like AMOS or PLS Smart. If you are very seriously planning to do a regression or structural equation modeling, later on I'll be showcasing to you whether you can do it only using these ones, or there are alternatives also. So future workshops also, slowly you will see I'll be taking you to the higher end wherein you are able to understand certain things given the different backgrounds that each one of you is coming in. So I think it's almost 6:12 right now. Rather than just waiting, I can just proceed further. And today, as I said, I would be showcasing to all of you certain philosophical assumptions. Already the some of you have already are attending some of the other workshops with me. In fact, I would say that all the participants who are here, apart from Anubha and Gokul, I think I am taking absolutely free workshop on every Sunday, and this is in association with what I call it as Haryana Commerce Management Association. And the topics are vivid topics. Already Anubha, Gokul are attending. It is absolutely free. And some of you, because I've just completed 1 day only, that was the inaugural, and given what I'll be giving it to you. So the other participants who feel that yes, you would like to join me up in those workshops also, which takes place exclusively on Sunday. Number one, from 11 to 4. That means I start off at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12, 12 to 1 hour break in between. And then I am proceeding from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. And if we have got some question answer sessions, it goes till 5 o'clock. So this is how I'm spending my Sunday. So, some of you who are keen, I'll just be sharing those topics towards the end of the session. You can join me up over there. And the platform is very good because we are coming up with very good, I would say, the publication opportunities. So Nimisha ma'am, who is there, and I would say the entire group of around 11 to 12 who, some of you who are present, or maybe the 10 of you who are there right now, you can let me know. I'm not going to compel you. However, because, you are attending so seriously, and I have seen your backgrounds, and I think those things also. For example, the next Sunday I would be focusing exclusively on reviews, and reviews is something which you will not be hearing much discussion in the society. Reason, very some of them have been trained on that. So I would be talking about reviews over there, though I'm discussing with Ayush also if we can do. But however, here I'm dedicated, so I am focusing on different kinds of reviews also, then systematic analysis, literature review, then I'm going ahead with meta-analysis and meta-synthesis. So some of you who are keen towards the publication, and given the appraisals that all teachers and the students are interested, you can definitely join me up over there also. So give me the names, and I'll just let the organizers know that yes, some of them are interested, and you can be present over there. Now that the one thing, and let me just go ahead and discuss. Anubha, it would be a little bit boring for you. I won't be taking it more than 15 minutes, both Gokul and Anubha. So this would be like I would say, what do you call, repetition for both of you. However, you can tolerate this thing, and then you can understand it. Maybe it's like a revision for both of you. Now, when I am talking about what do you call as the philosophical assumptions, remember that there are certain things which we need to understand, and supposed to know them very well. Know them in the sense that before I can start off with my research, whether I am at MA level or at MPhil or PhD, or even for a publication, most of the time I see that there are certain things which are available for us, and we carry forward. Now I will not be giving you the hands-on experience right now. You can have a look at the videos, and Gokul, you can let me know whether all the videos that we are recording, basically they are available at the same I would say link on YouTube. So are you changing it, or are you uploading all the videos in one slot itself? Just let me know about it, please.
Yes, yes, ma'am. We have a YouTube channel, and we post it in that channel. And the links are being circulated every time. The today's videos will be circulated by tomorrow, I presume.
No, that's okay. I will be sharing this recording also, which what I'm doing it right now. It will be shared immediately, and it does not take. In fact, I would ask Ayush also later on to give me the rights, so that once I have completed with the recording, since I'm the one, I can upload them immediately and it is available. So if you tell me, those of you who have missed my earlier, I would say the sessions, and Gokul has confirmed that those videos are available, please go ahead and you can see some of them, and you can even understand also side by side. Now what I will do, I'm just sharing the screen, so that you are able to see the different kinds of discussions which I'll be taking you through, and I hope all of you are able to see the screen. This was something that I did it earlier. Now that was like a hands-on experience which I gave to the entire team, and you will see that while I was drawing this particular house, I have even numbered them, and I asked them. Now this is the reason why I took it up as a hands-on experience, because it improves your observations, and if you are a serious researcher, that's what I would say, and you take research in a very serious manner, then understanding of the observations, whether later on you enter into the qualitative area or quantitative, or combine both of them, the choice is yours. However, the basic foundation from where the research begins is basically the observations. Now I don't have to tell you, it is very common across the domains, and each one of us should dedicate ourselves, and tomorrow when you go into the society or the community, wherever you are, you should be possessing that kind of a keen observing talent in you, or skill in you, so that you are able to capture the observations. In fact, me, when I'm teaching my post-graduation students or my undergrad students also, I make them understand the meaning of observations and give them the assignments, just to learn how to do the observations and come back and report to me. Now these kind of things, if you can see, we were making them do and understand as to how you are moving from pure observation level to the level of theoretical building, or coming or arriving, what I call it as theoretical models, and developing the conceptual models also. So these observations are the ones that you need to understand. It is not a very easy process, I would tell you. However, when I am taking a particular, I would say, workshop, again, I just make them do exclusively on observations, theoretical development of the theoretical models and the conceptual models. Reason, if you are able to capture these things properly, you would be able to proceed further into the research, and you are able to get a very clear picture. Now this is something which you will see that majority of the times, in the workshop, this concept is absolutely not discussed, neither introduced. So it is very important, and please, as you progress into research, these kind of things also should be presented out. Now apart from this, there is another picture that I'm taking you one after the other, so that you are able to understand and see as to how these things are taking place and in what manner. Just give me a moment, please. Yes, now this is, I hope all of you are able to see a different screen wherein I'm discussing. Are you able to see, Gokul?
Yes,
Anubha,
ma'am.
maybe you can help me out. Is it a different screen now?
No, ma'am, I don't
Okay,
see a
no.
difference
So I
here.
have to share it once again. Okay, now this is the thing for me. Here we go. I'll be sharing it. Okay, here I think now you're able to understand it. Now, remember that during the, I mean, in the process of observations, we, go in with two different, I should say, differences which are present in front of us. One, I would say it is called as a subject. Now, subject is the individual who is conducting or is in the process of research. Now, exactly opposite to subject is something which we call it as object. Now, object is the, I should say, a phenomena, or you can say a thing which is existing. It can be an event, a situation, an activity, or simply something that is taking place and you are able to observe. Now, during these observations, we have seen that there are most commonly three different things that are taking place. Usually, I'm not saying that these are the only ones, there can be more. However, I'm just introducing the main ones. What happens is that usually it is the subject and object is your item of study. That means whatever you are observing, it is from your perspective. Remember that. Now, that is what I call it as from subject to object, and that is where the first one is coming in. In the second case, it is not the subject, however, it is the object which is present in the world, or an activity, or a function, or an operation, a situation, or an event is the thing that has captured your eyes, and it's like an effect on you, and you are simply observing it and you get attracted towards it. Now, these kind of a things also take place. And in the third scenario, it is both the ways, in the sense that yes, you are also observing the object, and object is also able to give you certain things, wherein both of them are interacting with each other, and you are able to see these kind of a things. Now, this is something that you will have to understand, and remember that before even you start with the research, these are the things that has to come into the picture, and you are understanding it. Now, the third one that usually I give to the students is the another screen that I'm sharing. Now, this is the one that you have to understand. Now, whether you enter into qualitative or mixed methods approach, you pick it up, or you're adopting the quantitative, the first part you have to understand that yes, it is the level of observations, number one. Now, it depends as to how many observations you have taken care of. Now, the observations are purely sensory by nature right now. Sensory, when I say they are pure observations, it means that there is no intervention of the language. It is only the play of what I call it as your sense organs, which helps in seeing the object. You can go ahead, you can touch the object, you can feel the situation or the event which is taking place in front of you, or in sometimes if your object has got that kind of wherein you will have to do, especially those individuals belonging to the food and hospitality sector. I'm talking for them. For example, if you go to Darjeeling and if you visit the tree factory over there, the tea manufacturing companies, you will see that there is somebody who is called as a taster. Now, trust me, when I interviewed that person, he says that he is not supposed to eat and drink. Like we consume the breakfast and we go to the college or university or our workplaces, there when he is going, he's not supposed to do it. And the entire day, his work is only to sip the taste and take care. And that is the reason why I said tasting. Similarly, if you enter into breweries where the alcohol is produced, I'm talking about the wine, and if you go to the vineyards, especially the ones that are taken care with the help of the tomatoes or grapes, and there also the taster who is there, he's not allowed. He is supposed to focus. Reason, there are changes taking place because of the pH values or acidity in the body, so they don't want all those things to take place. Now imagine for them when they are taking care of the tasting kind of a thing. Similarly, in the hotels, now they are very serious. Now they are not supposed to add, like for example in the kitchens. Now in the kitchen, when even I'm very fond of cooking, when I'm taking care of the cooking part, it might be possible the addition of the salt or the sugar that we take care while cooking differs from person to person. It can be possible that when I'm making let's say rajma, I can add little bit extra salt. Reason, I like the salt. However, the same rajma, if you go to a dhaba, there, you know, they taste it because they are aware of it, that yes, they are coming, and you will see that you know, they take care of that one. However, if you go to the hotels or the restaurants, I'm talking about the hi-fi hotel industry, there you will see that the content of the salt is very, very less. Reason, they say that we do not know what is the taste. So, you know, it has to be very carefully taken care of. And the entire hotel industry, tourism, marketing sector, if you will see, they are focusing on tasting. Similarly, with the hearing, the music industry, you know, if you are into that area of the research, you will be able to understand. So, you know, why I was telling you is even smelling. I'm so sorry, here smelling is not kept out, especially for the ether. Now, the person who is performing, I'm saying preparing or manufacturing ether, especially, you know, if you go to those villages which are beyond Lucknow area, they have these local roses which are there. They are not the hybrid roses which you get for from a florist, you know, especially in the metro cities or the other cities, I would say the tier 1 cities. If you go to that particular area, especially I visited it, and I was surprised that they have a special I would say a smelling technique which is there for them. And you know, I was surprised that yes, they were into you know, it feels as though they are in a different realm, and the moment even if somebody else is standing, they are able to recognize those kind of smells. That's what I want to say. So the pure observations are very different. The moment the language enters, okay, so that means that the person who is experiencing the subject plus the five sense organ plus the language that you have learned either from the expert who is present out here, either with the help of the expert or the peers or the specialist are there, you are able to come up with different kinds of categories of certain things that I was describing to you. So remember that the moment observations are done and you're saturated, that yes, I cannot take more of observations from my domain, you enter immediately to the domain of language, because these patterns are able to be recognized. You are able to see the trends. Now when those things come in there, you will see that you know, concepts are there, definitions are there into this realm, and a new vocabulary setting takes place completely for you. Now it is the description number one. For describing something, you need the words. Now these words are what you form the language, and the thing starts taking place from this area for your research completely. Now after this, let me see, these are the different schools. So we have understood what observations are. Then I have given you three different ways in which the research is being conducted. Then this is another important thing that each one of us should know. Now, majority of the time, when a student or a scholar, I'm talking about coming from different areas, when I ask them, okay, give me one philosophical assumption that you're going to work on, maybe in the first go, or if they have showcased to me the basic theoretical model or the conceptual model, then I ask them this question. Most of the time, you will see that these are the words which are very familiar ones, which are descriptivism, phenomenology, ethnography, interpretivism, logical positivism, naturalism, positivism. I mean, for me, because I'm a trained person again, so I know that there are different schools of positivism given and assigned because of the individuals who are there. Then we have got structuralism, post-structuralism, modernism, postmodernism. Feminism again is also an area, which I would love to take a nice workshop on that, 5 days workshop exclusively on the feminism, action theory, and empiricism. Now, these are try to understand different philosophical assumptions that we have got. Majority of the time, individuals who are coming from the fields of management, commerce, finance, they are focusing on logical positivism. Reason, there is a particular thing in which they are planning, and in my workshops I do explain. Those individuals who are coming from let's say healthcare sector, medicine, or social work, they focus more on descriptivism, phenomenology, ethnography, interpretivism, positivism also you can carry forward, and feminism, action theory. Now, these are, or you can even call it as empirical investigations. These are the schools for the one that I have mentioned. Journalism, mass communication, they are quite friendly with all these things. I'm talking about the rest of, like geography. Geography again talks about phenomenology, or they're talking about interpretivism, and you will see that there are certain frameworks which are available and they can carry forward. However, again, I'm telling you, these are not the only schools of philosophical assumptions, right? Opposite to it, we have got what we call it as Indian schools also. These comprises of Indian schools of medicine, like Ayurveda, and homeopathy is also there. And under Ayurveda, we have different, and that's why I did not just mention about one, whether it is Charakas or Shushrutas. There are variety of schools are there for us, and one should definitely, like yoga is also one of the medicinal school. Then Sankhya. Now, the people who are Vedanta school, now if you look at those ones, because now my entire focus is on these schools, and especially I would say even Vedas, Dr. David Fraley, he is the one who's focusing on Vedantic school, and the way he is, he's very popular, he and his wife Shambhini Yogeshwari ma'am, and both of them are my mentors again, and the way they do it is fantastic. So they are not like Westerners. Now, I call these schools which are present to be the Western schools which are present, to be totally working on a different platform. However, here you will see that it's a holistic approach that you will be finding it out, in the sense that you have got the basic tenets of that particular school, number one. Then astrology, tarot reading, then you have got this entire planetary system which is working, yoga, meditation, your body, how all of them are being interlinked with each other, and they're taking care. And somehow I'm being groomed right now, and especially on taking this yoga training school for me. Now I'm seeing it is not just the yoga that is more important to me for my body condition, even the mudras. Now, for example, if I'm sitting in front of you, I cannot, so the teachers train me what kind of a mudra I can take care, so that, I can improve my memory, or I can improve my attention, or how I can control, overeating. So those things are available, and it's a marvelous journey. And looking at it is very, very different. Similarly, Upanishads are there, Puranas are there, Ramayana. People think that yes, you become too religious religious. However, these are not just for meant for the religious purposes. However, there are so many things that are available that yes, you can directly apply to your specific domains also side by side. Buddhism, definitely yes, because apart from the Vedic or the yoga schools, I would say I'm even focusing on Tibetan medicine, Tibetan yoga you have got. And the moment we do those simple exercises, which unfortunately I'm not doing in this particular workshop, otherwise usually in my workshops I prefer to introduce them. You will see that those exercises allow the blocks to be removed immediately, and you get that kind of an hands-on experience wherein you are able to control the other person immediately. So sometimes when you're working with the individuals in the society or the community, without telling to them, you can create a positive environment around you, and you are able to see that yes, it's not only beneficial for you, it is beneficial for the other person also side by side. Similarly, Jainism, you can see that the times of the pandemic has really allowed us to cover our nostrils. Now that is something which is I mean, I find it so difficult sometimes, while covering my nose, and when I'm traveling or moving across my society, it is very irritating for me. So I keep wondering, how these Jennies who cover the noses continuously, and how comfortable they are. I don't know whether that can also be a research. One of you can write it and see whether different kind of masks which are being given to us, are you really comfortable with them? The ones which are made with small holes on it, or with a tissue kind of a material. So you can check it out and you'll be able to understand them. Similarly, Nyaya philosophy is again, I would say, focusing on these are why I'm interested is that some of you who really pick up these textbooks, like for example, Sankhya is there, Mimamsa is there. If you understand those schools very well, you can apply them in your own research areas and you can create a lot of them. So it's not just for the sake of the religion, and I'm seeing that British, I mean, what is this? British Columbia University in Canada, or there is this Canadian University of Nursing School or Social Work, or even in UK, they have shifted towards Buddhism, Jainism, and Nyaya schools and yoga schools. Definitely, yes, I've not mentioned here. Yeah, even yoga is also there, and yoga we know it's not just the Baba Ramdev. There are a lot of varieties of yoga schools also, and Patanjali is just one form of it. If you are into it, then you will understand that we have completely different sectors are available for us, and you can enter into those yogic schools, and then you can learn the different things which are available and benefit a lot in our society. Surprisingly, this thing has been captured in USA, Canada, and UK, Australia, and not in my own country, though these schools belong to my own country itself. So that is one more thing that I really introduce and tell the scholars or the faculties, because now you have completed with your PhD, so you have some time, start attending them and learn. So, for example, Nyaya, Buddhism, Jainism, and yogic schools that I'm talking about, I have introduced them to because of the ancient textbooks. I'm telling you, they are not the contemporary ones. I have picked up the ancient books, and they are being, translated, and we have entered into the research projects, and these are being used in medicine schools and nursing schools, healthcare sector, social work. Yesterday, as Nimisha ma'am was telling to me, definitely yes, ma'am. There are I can see, I'm not giving you the information about the different kinds of social work that they are taking care in the foreign universities. However, the way the ancient schools are being used to the contemporary issues and problems, they are fantastic, I would say. So this is one more thing that I really wanted to share. And if you will look into the next screen, screen that I'm sharing, this is the manner in which we proceed further from the observations to theoretical building of the observations towards the model. So once you have identified your concepts and you have defined them properly, you are entering into the theoretical nature, wherein you are able to understand and prepare a model for yourself. So these are again different levels wherein we go ahead and we are taking care of it. Now similarly, apart from that, let me just check it out if there is something else that I wanted to showcase. I think that's it. So with this, I'm completed with little bit of the technical words which I really wanted to share with all of you. Now, apart from that, now I'm taking you into the proper, I would say, the manner in which we are going to understand. Now, here it will not be the usual PowerPoint presentations, because those things I have taken care of certain things which are available in the what do you call this one, from the different schools and different papers. So I thought, okay, let me proceed further and make you all understand and see as to how to carry forward with this. Just a moment, please. Let me just come over to that screen. Okay, here we go. And here, yesterday I gave you a little bit of introduction about the differences between qualitative and quantitative research. Now, here, this one is a different slide altogether, wherein you will see that the common purpose for the qualitative, because this is more for the qualitative, so I'm focusing more on this one. Discover ideas with general research objects, whereas in quantitative, it would be test hypotheses or specific research question. Approach for qualitative, and that is the reason why today I have to focus on observations. Remember that observations play a very important role in qualitative. If you are not a good observer, I'm so sorry, you cannot be into the domain of qualitative and interpretation. And that's why while I showcased to you, I said that interpretivism, observations, descriptivism, they are very important for the qualitative research. However, in quantitative, it would be more of measuring and testing part of it. Now, if I go for the data collection approach for the qualitative, remember, it would be unstructured. When I say unstructured, you do not plan it all together and say that, yes, this will happen, then this will happen. For example, in quantitative, we start off with cross tabs, then ANOVA, then we go for if there is a bivariate analysis, which we will see later on, how to understand these things also side by side. So there is a proper structure. So, when I discuss with the scholars, they say, ma'am, we have completed with ANOVA regression. Now I want to go further. Can you help us out with what we call it as model testing, or even the model itself, how to identify that, yes, my model is a perfect one. And that's why I said that maybe after another workshop, we will be start focusing on the, I would say, the software, so that we are able to know them further. Now, similarly, researcher independence. Now, you will see that in qualitative, yesterday I gave you this very clearly when I discussed about the participant. Either you are the subject and your participation is necessary absolutely when you are observing the object in question. So try to understand. Now I have given you clear-cut distinctions and made you understand what subject is, what object is. So I'm talking about the first terms wherein you are the subject, you are the researcher, and you are trying to observe what is happening in the world, and that is what we call it as the object. So here you yourself are involved completely, and you cannot deviate your attention towards anything else. You are present over here. Results are subjective, however biasness is not there, and we will see later on how there is a new concept which we call it as the collective subjectivism. Subjectivism also comes in different forms, objectivism also comes in different forms. However, right now I'm not taking you at that level. Just try to understand that yes, results are highly subjective in the case of qualitative, though we can control them. However, in quantitative research, you will see that researcher is not at all involved. So it is basically the object to the subject which is coming. So results are highly objective. Now I think if you have understood the basic foundation to start off with the research, these things become very easy to understand. Now small samples often in natural setting. Yesterday I think one of the individual asked me what would be the sample size. Now here you will not go with big data kind of a sample, however it would be a small sample, and we will see how small it can be. That is something that I will be showcasing it after some time. Now whereas in quantitative, we know that I can go from 50 to 100, then 350, 250, then 500, then choice is mine, and I can even cover what I call it as the big data analysis. Now that is again depending upon my choice that I have to carry forward. Now apart from that, now I'm going to take you, as I said, I will not be going in that mode today. I'll be introducing different things, and you are able to see the limitations or the schools that I'm entering slowly, giving you what are the various qualitative methodologies which are present for us. So before I can give you the names or the basic philosophical assumptions which are available, try to remember that the methodologies that usually we take up in the research areas, these are some of them. One, the traditional survey. Benefits, it would be like I'm sharing, so try to focus on the screen right now. I'll be giving away all these things, and it would be shared via mail, because now I have got your mail IDs on a daily basis, either before the, hello, before the lecture or after the lectures. These things would be taken care of, and you can read them continuously. And what kind of limitations also I'm giving it to you, so that you know, some of you who are serious with your research, you can understand whether this particular method can be applied or not. Similarly, comparative analysis benefit, it is very easy, and majority of us, we love doing comparative works, and we will see later on as to how the comparative works also becomes easier. Now similarly, we are talking about the data as to the limitation and where you can stop yourself. Natural experiments are there for us. Now this is basically for the policy makers. Now if you want to bring in some changes in the policies and you are planning to take care of it, at that time you can introduce this thing. For example, the educational policy that was changed. So here there they pick up with natural experiments, which are basically causal model. Causal model, when I say causal model, it means that there is I would say a cause and an effect is present always between the variables, and you are able to identify which causes what. On that case, which is a cause and which is the effect. Now limitations, I'm not going to focus as of now. My introduction was to give you the different kind of methods that you're using it before you can even talk about the philosophical assumption. Multi-level analysis is very popular, and this is the flexibility in model specifications, number one. And we are usually taking care of the time out here. Therefore we move from cross-sectional studies to the longitudinal. It is time, when I say, it can be months also, it can be in terms of hours also, it can be in part of, like, it's a collection of years also. So you know, you have got time series, you have got, then you have got the panel data analysis, those things, or even space. Now, when I'm talking about, like, for example, geography or the social work area, they are focusing more on the multi-level, and just because this is a preliminary, a basic kind of workshop, I'm not going to talk more about it. However, in future, if I introduce the multi-level analysis, definitely, yes, we will see that it's the upcoming area, and majority of us, we go ahead and try to understand what is the growth for the various models. Now, for example, for me, the model can be, I can pick up 10 movies of Amitabh Bachchan, okay, and I can develop those things. Now, similarly, let's say old age homes are there. Now, old age homes also, I'm seeing that they are so different. For example, if it is let's say a dharmshala kind of a thing, it's very different. However, if I go to what I call it as the places where children are not taking care of their parents, that is a very different kind of a thing. Similarly, if you look at some of the spiritual ashrams which are turned into the senior citizens home, that those things are very different, especially in the metro cities like Delhi. When I visit, I say, oh god, is this old age home or is it another hotel kind of a thing? So you can look into all those things, and you will be able to understand the models that you can study on your own also, side by side. Similarly, we have got the formal experiment where models, we are trying to understand and see how well they are interacting, the causal models, and certain flexible manipulations that we can take care in our own setup. So those will be called as the formal. Similarly, computational is also present, which goes basically for the computers or the films or the image analysis that we take care of. And computational, I mean, mostly it is restricted to the technical things, I would say. So this is how I wanted to introduce the basic methodologies which are available for us, and it becomes a grounding work for me before I can enter into different kind of a thing. Now, without entering into the intricacies of it, I'm just sharing. Tomorrow you can hear somebody saying that yes, I'm working on narratives. Now, what is narratives? Narrative is nothing, however, it is basically a storytelling format wherein the research is usually in the formative of these stories. It can be in the form of digital stories, it can be in the form of folk tales, it can be with in the form of let's say grandmother sharing the experiences with her future generations. For example, when I go to a village, now in the village, the way pickling, in the sense that when pickles are made, it is usually that all the community is sitting together of ladies, and then they share, okay, we prepare the pickle in that. So if you hear the story from them, they would be sharing it. Now, similarly, kimchi. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware that kimchi is one of the salad kind of a pickle, which is usually prepared in South Asian countries like China, Japan, Korea. Even now, it has become very popular in India also. It is a kind of a achar or pickle, you can say. And again, that's a community kind of a work. Then papad making. Like if you go to Rajasthan or South India or Kashmir, or even that, what do you call them? Vadiya, okay, that Amritsar, the Punjab region, they are so popular that, Nimisha ma'am, this is for you basically, that one of the social working institute in Punjab, they have started off with this activity wherein mentally retarded senior women were picked up, and they, because are very comfortable, they have brought up that kind of an organization, NGO they have opened, and they are helping these women to go ahead and prepare either the vadiya or the papad. So similarly in Rajasthan, down if you go to South India like Andhra Pradesh, or papad making is there, pickling is very popular, even the masalas, we have a lot of masalas, and I think it's Rajasthan, Odisha, if I'm not wrong, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and then Kashmir. Kashmir also has their own spices, and the way they are building up the entire narratives over there is very good one. So that is how you go ahead and you start observing the entire narrative research. That's what I would call it as, and this is highly qualitative by nature. Any person who is serious with the hotel industry or the food industry or travel and tourism, you will see that the stories which are being developed across the temples or across the gods, goddesses, rivers, it's like a narrative. You have a complete story around it. Similarly, there is a difference between narrative and discursive. Discursive usually is not a narrative. You're not narrating the entire thing. However, it is like a interaction between two individuals. Like example I gave you between doctor and patient. The moment doctor enters into the patient room, the doctor starts a conversation. Okay, hi, good morning, how are you? आज तो आप बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो. And immediately, because that rapport building is there, the patient starts off with the kind of a conversation saying that कि आपको तो मैं बहुत अच्छी लग रही हूँ, लेकिन मैं अपने आप से बहुत कमजोर हो गई हूँ. So then the doctor says, why do you feel कि आप कमजोर हो गए हो? Then she says, if you look at those conversations, then they say that अभी तक तो मैं बिल्कुल अच्छी तरह से घूम फिर रही थी, लेकिन अब मैं घूम ही नहीं पा रही हूँ. So, they feel that energy they have lost. However, whether that energy is being converted into the conversations or some other form is something which they are lacking. So, it is the job of the doctor to understand. And when doctors are doing these kind of observations, they note down either mentally or they note down in their coded word. I think somebody, this thing, kindly mute yourself so that I'm not able to hear the personal discussions or the voice. This disturbs the other people. Okay, so kindly mute yourself, whosoever the person is. Now, apart from the discursive research, we have what we call it as the critical discourse analysis. Now, in this thing, what happens is that this is one step higher than the discursive one. Discourse is basically the manner in which certain things are taking place. You already read a paper that has been published, or it is being published or being discussed. Then you start criticizing the entire thing, and then you jump in. So, that's another way in which you can discuss about this one. And these are used, discourse analysis is basically used in journalism, mass communication, film studies, social work. Again, they are taking care of it. For example, you would like to focus on immigrants, how they are taking place. Now, similarly, people who are dislocated. Now, the person has lost the memory, especially the children. Let's say they have lost themselves in a mela, or you can say a fair or an exhibition. So you can say that they are dislocated, and then you have to identify. Similarly, people who are moving from one city to the other city, you usually hear they say कि हमारे यहाँ पे, like especially when I'm interacting with Kashmiris, I'm telling you very honestly, when they eat pani puri, the first thing they will always, why I'm telling you, because food is one area where you will find the discourses taking place and they will tell you हमारे यहाँ पे तो ऐसे बनता ही नहीं है. Now, similarly, in the kitchen, which I always find it out, the differences between a daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law. Now, this is another area of research for us. Mother-in-law always, if let's say there was this one case in law wherein I was surprised to find out that this young girl who had given everything to, and she says that I want to take a divorce. And what was the matter of divorce? The husband said that she cannot prepare the bhindi fry as it is prepared at my place. And I just looked. I said, for bhindi fry, you are planning to go ahead with the divorce? And he said, yes. Can you believe that? So here comes in the critical discourse analysis, and you can check it out and see whether, now for example, there are other things also which are there quite a lot. I'm just giving you simple examples which become a matter of discussion, like for example in law, and we have to take care of those things also. However, we cannot help it. Now similarly, we have got interpretive, a phenomenological thing. Tomorrow when I'm going to explain to you about phenomenology, I'll be discussing more about it. So I'm not going to talk about this thing at all right now. Now, coming over here, these are the different methods that we have got, or I would say philosophical assumptions. Though we say philosophical assumptions, which I have showcased to you in my earlier interpretivism, descriptivism, these are the important methodologies that you can see in qualitative analysis. First and foremost, this has been taken from the book which is called as the Handbook of Qualitative Research, and I think I must have shared this one, and there they have made it very clear that phenomenology, then what is the meaning of the phenomena which is existing in the world, then what are the methods, like in-depth interviews. Tomorrow before I can start off, I'll be definitely giving you an introduction about interviews in short, and how many varieties of interviews are there, how those interviews are being taken care of, and how to proceed further. Now similarly, participants, like for example, this can be in the use of art, poetry, dance, literature, I mean films, you name it, and you can carry forward. This is the most common, I would say, technique that, not the technique, I would say this methodology that is adopted. However, many of us are not aware, and even the papers that are published, one has to be very carefully looking at it. As I told you, there are around 48 schools of phenomenology that we have got, and we need to understand as to which approach. It cannot be a generalized one. Usually people say that yes, phenomenology is this thing, so we are doing this method, so let me carry forward, and they publish the paper. And please do not read such papers. I'll be showing you those papers also. They are completely crap. That's what I would say. Types of results would be what it felt like to be. Now, when you observe, it is your observations that you're taking care. And we will see tomorrow when I'll showcase to you good papers which have been written on phenomenology. And I'll be showcasing to you how well they have captured, in what manner they have captured the data, the sample size, and then they are planning to go further. Ethnography, again, what is the nature of the phenomena? For example, if I find out that yes, the tribals are cooking in this manner. Now, I don't know, the one example which I can give it to you, which really happened. I was standing because my car had a flat tire. So I was just standing for the one of my drivers to fix it out. Then I observed that in the bus shed area. Now, bus shed is the area where, in Greater Noida, we have seats. So I was sitting there, and next to my seat, there was some small empty space was there. I could see the Banjara families, all settled down, and I was just attracted towards a smell that was attracting to me, and that was the garam roti that they were preparing. So I just looked, because I myself was feeling hungry, and moreover, I'm very sensitive in that way. So when I looked at that person, I was amazed to see that they were not cooking in the utensils which are made up of metal, like steel or brass or aluminum, whatever the metal you're talking about. They were cooking in those mitti ka bartan kind of a thing. So, I was attracted, and those photographs are there even on my Facebook. So I literally had to see her, the way, she was tadka lagana, the seasoning, and I was observing the way she was preparing the curry tadka, kaise wo diye, jo mitti ka diya hota hai, usme wo tadka laga ke how she was adding it to the curry and the way she was preparing the roti, especially the besan jo hota hai usko ulta kar diya. And then luckily one of my friend who runs his own hotel, he was also standing next to me. He observed and he said that, Ramani, this is how we do sometimes, you know, for special occasion, mitti ke bartan mein khana bana ke, and then we are selling it. I said, just see, they are doing it absolutely free and you charge so much. Now, you know, I literally have to move. Now, when you are moving from your zone towards the object is where you will be coming in for the ethnography. And you will see most of the time, for example, when you enter into dominoes, I don't know in your areas how the dominoes are, especially in Delhi, NCR regions, we see that there is a counter where a child can stand up and they can observe the entire pizza making, you know, process. The entire process can be seen. So, you know, whenever we go to Pizza Hut, especially not Pizza Hut, the Domino's, I have seen that my niece, she's so attracted that she goes and she stands there. That's the ethnographic kind of a thing I'm talking about. Here you have got the participant observation. Now, one more thing I can tell you, I don't know how many of you are fond of pottery. Now, whenever I stand in front of the potter, जो कुम्हार होता है, उसको आपने कभी देखा है बनाते हुए, and I feel that yes, my hands also should be in the mud, जो मिट्टी होता है, और उसके साथ सीखूं मैं. So that's again an ethnographic example. Similarly, one more example that I can give you is I'm always mochi, if you have seen, and the manner he inserts the needle into the shoe or the slipper that has been broken up, और वो जिस तरह से वो धागा निकालता है उसमें से, is something again which you cannot understand. And similarly, when I observe my nani or dadi doing crochet again, you know, so that those are the ones where you can talk about. Similarly, you will see that majority of the people, ethnographic studies would be going away from their house, staying in a tribal village, or let's say where the weaving is taking place or a painting is taking place, like Kathakali dance. If you have seen, I'm very fond of Indian culture and arts also, and I have seen that when they are performing, especially the I'm talking about the Kathakali from Kerala, you will see that the entire dance which is there, the I mean, we had to do, me and one of my students who were present over there, and we observed that, you know, it is not just like that ki dress up kar liya, chalo ji dance ho gaya. No, it's a proper pious activity. They do not allow any third person, however, because they do you know, a lot of puja and a lot of processes are there. So in order to understand it, I have to be present over there and take the precaution the way. So, you know, these are examples. I don't know whether I'll be talking much about ethnography in this particular workshop. However, in future, definitely yes, we would be, though I would be giving you the introduction. Grounded theory has been now the ones which are present in the brackets, these are the basically the subjects from where the school has been arrived at. For example, phenomenology comes from philosophy, cultural anthropology is important for the ethnography, and therefore the people who go ahead to those places and then they are studying, that's what the word has come in from. Sociology is the one that gave you the grounded theory, and here again the methods are there, how to go about this involved. That's why I said, if you have patience and if you are seriously entering into it, then you should carry forward. If you are not, I mean, I would say patience is not there, then please don't come towards the qualitative analysis at all. Now, for example, what are the interactions or processes going on here? Grounded theory. Now, here you will see that majority of the times wherein psychological things are taking taking place, counselors are there. I would even say psychiatrist is there, and nowadays it has become a very popular, wherein you just have to pay some amount of money, and the psychiatrist or your personal psychologist is available, and they start giving you, they hear your story. Let me tell you, your personal experiences, which they call it as a story, they hear the entire thing, and then maybe through tarot reading or through reiki or some other form of alternative medicine or through psychological things. For example, in abroad, because I'm trained in Tibetan medicine, therefore I'm just speaking to you from that perspective. Now, one of the person from UK, I'm talking about a Brit, she just called me up and she told me, I don't know what's wrong with me. I said, what happened? She said that today abnormally I ate 3 chocolates. I said, what's so abnormal in that? So you can understand that eating extra chocolate is an abnormality for them. Similarly, there was another case wherein she said that, I don't know what's wrong with me, ma'am. However, I'm observing that entire week I'm just attracted towards the red color. So that's a big concern for them. So those are the areas. Or for example, ages come into the matter a lot out here. However, you have to understand that yes, there are clear demarcating lines between the social things that are taking place and the psychological areas which are present over there. So here a lot of these things are present, and we need to, for example, nowadays people are concerned about Sushant Singh Rajput's diary. Now that's exactly the grounded theory. And yesterday when I was listening to I don't know where, and they said that we have got another technique, CBI is going to look into it. They are going to observe all the videos. They will be reading the diaries, the interactions which Sushant Singh Rajput had with his friends or the family members. Then they said that we are going to develop the psychological thing completely, analysis, and then we can understand whether he really committed suicide or not. So that is another way to study, and that is basically the grounded theory. Similarly, those of you who are on the social, again, I would say this is the reason why I was telling you again and again that each one of you who is present, you're so much dedicated with your research area. However, these techniques are not given to you, these methodologies and designs are not given to you, so you are unable to use them in your research area. Now I'm pretty sure that let's say Anubha, who is present now, she can go ahead and she can look at her thesis and understand that, okay, I'm talking about these banks. However, whether this is taking place in the society or not, let me understand whether that particular bank is suitable for that particular area also or not. She can enter via the grounded theory. In the same manner, Nimisha ma'am, who comes from the social work department, she can understand and see why a particular section of the society is behaving in that manner, and how we can understand the psychological processes so that we can, especially let's say the handicapped children, the disabled children, why do they behave? Now I know what happens in Dehradun. This was an NGO which was focusing on mentally retarded, and Dehradun has let me tell you, a lot of foreigners who are there, who have opened up, and they only focus on these things. Okay, now similarly, when they enter into a senior citizen age-old home or the hospital, or you can say some of the migrants, rather than working, it has become a data for them, especially in Delhi. When I see the leprosy patients, because they don't have any other way to earn the money, the best way they think is by begging. So for begging, they can do anything, burn their hands or burn the children's hands. So we need to understand the entire psychological process as to what is taking place in them, because of which they are behaving like this in the society, or they are presenting in that. I wouldn't even use the word behaving, because that becomes a very big terminology for me. So when you are taking care about those things, that is basically the grounded theory. For example, those of you who are coming from the food and hospitality sector or tourism, why is it that majority of the tourists who enter India, they either go to Taj Mahal, then they are interested to visit to Kashmir, and then they want to go to Tirupati, or if they have heard about Mysore or Madurai, these are, or Jagannath Puri. Now, have you ever thought from the grounded theory perspective as to why these things are taking place? What is the psychological process which is taking place over there? So, if you ask me, especially Taj Mahal, definitely yes, it's a eighth wonder in the world. However, ये वो तो एक मकबरा है. Now, if you know that, the foreigners are so happy in buying those, I would say, models of Taj Mahal and gifting it. मैंने कहा ये कैसा gifting तरीका है? Because I come from that society wherein Maqbara cannot be gifted to another person. There would definitely, I mean, there's a psychological process spiritually as well as in a very general manner. So, we don't prefer to do it. However, I find that majority of us, किसी को gift let's go ahead and buy a Taj Mahal model and give it. So, those are the grounded theories which we will see later on and try to understand about them also. Similarly, ethnoscience, which we call it as the semiotics, that is another technique that we have got. These are some of them. I can show you some more methodologies which are available, and then go ahead. Just give me a moment, please. Now, this is another schools that I have already talked about: narrative, then case study, Gokul's favorite area, that yes, how we should. Now, case study is another area, again, I would say, which requires a lot of attention, and it's very easy to write a case study, let me tell you. And there are a lot of formats of it which we will understand it, and I'll be sharing it briefly tomorrow again after I complete on phenomenology. Grounded theory I have. Now, here are why I'm sharing this thing is because they have discussed about the research questions. What kind of research questions? Now, one more area is participatory action research, which we call it as the research or action research itself. So, or action theories. Okay, so those are the ones. However, in qualitative, we are talking in terms of the participatory action research. I'm going to share, I'm just giving you the name. This particular thing also will be shared with you. Now, apart from that, let me see if I have one more. Yes, I have got. Now, in this, again, you can see that yes, there are differences in the approaches for the qualitative and quantitative. This is just to know information, I would say. So I'm not going to discuss more about it. However, I'm more interested in something else, and let me see if I can enter over there. Yes, here we come. Now, this is another thing. These are what I call it as the philosophical assumptions, number one. And you can see that, yes, on one side, you have got ontology, epistemology, methodology. Okay, and there is one more paper which I'll be showcasing, that it's not just the ontology. We have got ontology, metaphysics, epistemology, methodology is also there. Ethics is also present. Okay, ethics, moral values, and art. So these are the various designs, philosophical assumptions which are available, and through these are the designs: positivism, interpretivism, critical realism. Why I'm introducing? Because these are other set of schools which you are supposed to know that yes, in qualitative we do use these things also. For example, why positivism? Now, majority of you who are from the management background and they follow logical positivism, that means they are at the ontological thing. So here metaphysics is not there. Now it is independent and objective reality. Start using these terms also side by side, and then you can see later on there is a causality. So this is basically the causal studies. That means that some gives rise to something. So those kind of a thing, and all empirical investigations that you are doing, majority of them, they would be falling under the positivism. Interpretivism is also there, where multiple realities are there. For example, in social work, medicine, nursing school, psychological psychological and even the psychiatrist kind of a thing, or even in alternative medicine. For example, if I'm let's say performing a Reiki session for a group of, let's say, 50, so each individual is different for me, because the way the person behaves, the way they're thinking, the way they come up to me with the problem. So for me, these turned out to be the multiple realities. It is not just one reality for me. So if I'm taking care, for example, for doctor, every patient is different. A meditating person, every person who is meditating is a different one. So you cannot generalize and say that what I'm telling you is same for each one of you. No, it cannot be. The best technique is hands-on experience, which I'm giving to you. You can just close your eyes right now, and you can see how the traffic lights, I would say, or even the lights, depending upon what kind of a food or what kind of a mood you are right in right now, you know, you can see the flashes of those colors. Maybe in one of you it is absolutely black, for others it might be a red color, for others it might be a blue or orange color. Now those are the different multiple realities that we are talking about. When it comes to critical realism, remember that objective, it is highly objective by nature. It is stratified reality in the sense that it is right opposite to me, and different level events. That means that it is not just static like a photograph in front of you. You know, continuously things are taking place one after the other. At that time, when you are criticizing, and those structures, you know, with criticism have been studied, you call them as critical realism. Similarly, the next is the epistemology, and here you will see that whenever you are focusing on knowledge based queries, you know, why does she behave, I want to know why she has behaved like this. I want to know why tourist is attracted towards let's say Jammu Kashmir or South India, or let's say to Odisha rather than to other places of India. I mean, for me, there are such a beautiful places that tourists are not aware of it. However, tourists only would like to go to those places. Why is it so? So when inquiring in terms of knowledge, you are taking care of epistemological thing. So similarly, methodology, we have got different like grounded theory, focus groups, then ethnography, then participants. Then tomorrow we will see all those things when I'm talking about. You will see that these are the ones. However, why did I present this particular slide is that you know, you can see, you can write a paper on ontological positivism, you can write a paper on ontological interpretivism, you can write a paper on ontological critical realism. Similarly, epistemology, which is present, you can say that epistemological positivism, epistemological interpretivism, epistemological critical realist position. You know, choice is yours how you are taking care of it. So however, these things are available for us, and we definitely go ahead and take care. Now especially for positivism, it's basically quantitative methods like experiments, surveys or questionnaires, and definitely on the statistical analysis on the secondary data. Okay, or if you are performing and collecting preparing a questionnaire, then definitely yes, it would be the primary data. Interpretivism is highly qualitative methods. I mean, under the methodological things I'm telling you, ethnography, case studies, they come into the picture kind of a thing. So this is something that I really wanted to share, and this is another slide of mine wherein I have taken other methods. Like for example, till now I was talking about ontology, I was talking about ethnography, phenomenological storytelling. Definitely yes, especially in discourse, discursive narratives that you are using it, you are using what we call it as the storytellings. Now here I have given to you, it's very easy, it is not much difficulty. So both strengths and weaknesses have been presented. My presentation would be focused on the methodologies, therefore I have come over here. Interviewing, like we have seen in questionnaires, surveys, all those things. You take the interviews. That is another method for us. Discourse analysis, which I discussed right now, the social interactions. Like for example, I have seen that if you are continuously speaking in English, the Hindi speaking areas, like for example Rajasthan, UP, MP, individuals are not comfortable. They say, can you speak in Hindi? Similarly, if you go to South India, especially Tamil Nadu, you will see that people are not comfortable with Hindi language. They will ask you, either you speak Tamil or you speak English. Similarly, when you go to China, they would prefer that you are speaking Mandarin rather than English or any other language. Germany, you go to Germany, they will prefer German or any of the South Indian languages, especially from Andhra Pradesh. They like to speak in Telugu. Now, when these kind of things are taking place in the social interaction, you will have to understand it. Similarly, sometimes we're talking about in terms of the metaphors, then observations, and that's why I said for me, observations are the most important ones, whether you are going to take care of the storytelling form, interviewing, or discourse or narratives, whatever it is. Observations do, however, here they have made it a separate category of methodology for qualitative research. Reason, this has been discussed in a separate format altogether. Now, these are some more things which we will be talking about more, and I'll be sharing and giving it away, these things, and later on you can discuss. I am now moving to another area, which I call it as the, what do you mean by this one? The designs. Now, methodologies I have given you, and I'm going to share certain things, so please go ahead and you can understand now, because majority of it I have taken care. So going further now with the what I call it as the this one, what do you call, the designs. So for that, there are certain things that we need to understand and proceed further. So again, I'm going to showcase to you certain things, and these will be able to help you out to understand not only the designs but even the sampling parts when we are talking about, especially in the qualitative. Now you will be seeing some of them coming and being flashed over to you. Now remember, theoretical, now there was a question which one of you had asked me earlier, whether theoretical and conceptual models are compulsory. Now, if you are into qualitative and quantitative also, these turns out to be very important for us, and till the time you're not clear with the basics, then going ahead with the research becomes very difficult. This particular slide gives you that understanding that yes, you should be able to proceed further with these things. Now, similarly, I'll just run rather than one after the other. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, here we go. Now, these are now would be a combination of both designs as well as the sampling. So as these things are coming in, I would be sharing it with you. Now here, for example, if one of your research design or methodology, I would say, is falling under biographical phenomenology. Now, see, there is one more methodology that has come in out here. So you should understand that, yes, even like, for example, in history, or political science research, when you're taking care, or similarly, if you are talking about a person who's no more, however the biography is present, like for example, if I want to understand about Lord Rama or Krishna, so these things really help me out through the biographical studies, and then how to proceed further. Sampling, I'm not going to discuss right away. However, remember, when you are talking about sampling, there are those of you who already know, it's fine. However, these are the other things that you need to understand. Unlike in quantitative research, convenience is common, then it saves time, money, effort, less information, and credibility is there. Politically important case, this is another way to understand that yes, if you have got just one study, you can carry forward. For example, if you pick up biography of Indira Gandhi, biography of Mahatma Gandhi, or Abraham Lincoln, or Rabindranath Tagore, so at that time you can prepare. And for example, if you want to study, and you know that Tata is a very popular one. I'm talking about J.R.D. Tata, who is the Ratan Tata ji. If you can pick up his book, and if you, that's why I was telling you that some of you who are good at describing things and everything, you can definitely go ahead and consider these things also. Now, similarly, critical cases. Now, critical cases are really important because it reduces the time, it simplifies your work, and there is a lot of things that you can understand and you can carry. Now, typical case. Now, for example, Lord Krishna, if you have understood his nature, you will say that this is typical to him. Similarly, from if you are studying the models of individuals like Shakuni Mama, or what's her name, Kaikeyi's Manthara, you will understand and try to compare these two, that how important they were in that particular stories, whether they were common things among them, or those kind of models also sometimes really help you to understand and proceed further. Phenomenological, definitely yes, the sampling criterion out here would be criteria wherein all cases meet some criteria. It's a pattern that I was talking about, the trend that I was talking about, good for quality assurance. So phenomenological things really help you in that. Grounded theory is more or less like theoretical portion. However, you can go ahead and you can create a very good grounded theory for yourself, and we will see later on. Ethnography, again, they fall into different systems out here. I'm not going to touch upon right now. And case studies, again, they are different. Either it can be biographical, it can be a small version, it can be, you can talk about just one company, you can talk about 5 companies, you can talk about 10 companies together, or if you want, you can just talk about one simple film. So the things are very different out here in this case. Then I don't want to discuss about this. Okay. Now, yesterday, I don't know whether that person is available today or not. I'm talking about Raja, and please go ahead and share this thing also, though I'll be mailing. Now, you see on your left-hand side, research approach or the methodology. Here they're taking care of various things, especially in the qualitative research. And what is the sample size? Yesterday, remember, I said that I'll be touching upon it today, and here is the slide that I have got, and that's why I never wanted to touch yesterday. If you are taking care of ethnographic or grounded theory or action research, 20 to 30 interviews are enough. Okay, then if you are doing a case study, all right, now individual case study is fine, one farmer, and that is the reason why I always tell the scholars, if you have taken care of the interview, please go ahead, one interview, one case study, get it published before anybody can tell you anything else. Similarly, one case or one person, like especially in the cases of the medicine, healthcare, nursing, psychological, or Tibetan medicine, or alternative medicines I'm talking about, or even in social work, you can focus on one case, one person, where if you think that you are not able to do this one, then go ahead with 25 to 30 data sources. And this includes your secondary data, manuscripts, photographs, audio recordings, blah, blah, blah. You can capture them, and then you can prepare your case study and present it for the publication. Single case study about an aspect, definitely yes. If you are talking about like for example, if I have met this Banjaran lady, I had taken a vivid kind of an interview, I got it published. Now similarly, the lady that I was talking about while I was traveling from Delhi to Amritsar, I met this lady who remembered her guilt. And what was her guilt? While she gave birth to it seems twins, and immediately the second day there was an announcement made in Pakistan. This was especially from Rawalpindi, and the Indians who were residing there, they were asked to leave their homes as it is and go away to India. Now on the way, because they were unable, and both the twins were girls, they were unable because of a lot of problems. Because when girls were there, born in the family or as child or as a grown up youth, I should say, the young the police who were there, the army from both the sides who were present, they were doing all kind of criminal work, like for example raping the girls, kidnapping them for their own comfort, or whatever you can say. So the parents from both the sides, Hindus who were moving from Pakistan to India, or Muslims who were leaving India and entering into Pakistan, they had to throw away the children into those lakes or rivers, whatever was available. The moment she met me, she remembered saying that, Ramani, today I feel that if my daughter was alive, she should have been just like you, or she should have been like you. And she was literally, I could see that. So for me, that particular incident, the entire thing that she shared as a guilt which was coming out of her, and it took the form of the emotional feeling in her, turned out to be a case study. And the same case study I converted into phenomenological study also, side by side. And not only phenomenological study, since I knew how to make it a grounded theory, I converted that also into that. So you see, this is the fun with the qualitative study. If you have understood and you have got the exposure to those things, you can simply go ahead and you can publish them into your. Now similarly, multiple case studies, 4 to 10 cases, you can combine together and you can present it. Whereas in phenomenology, it has to be from 5 to 25. That's the sample size I'm talking about. And this has been very well taken care by Creswell, who is known to be the best person to give us the important. And I have shared, I think, 3 books of Creswell. This book, 1998 book, is also there in your thing that I have shared. In case it is missing, I'm sending it across all the different, there would be around 6 to 7 mails coming in from me. And this one, you can also check it out. Similarly, the other qualitative studies which are present, minimum, yesterday the person asked me, minimum is 15. Only in the case of case studies, you can go for 1 exclusively. In other cases, it has to be 15. Now, what is the data collection method? Key informant interview at least 5. Okay, and here you have got the references also. Focus group, it has to be 5 to 10 persons. Number of focus groups will be 2 to 3. Ethnographic surveys, if it is a large sample similar to quantitative, usually, otherwise it has to be between 30 to 60. That's more than enough for you. In-depth interviews, 25 to 30. Tomorrow you will see all these things coming in the form of interviews and how to understand them. Semi-structured interviews will be 30 to 60. When I'm talking about the structured one, tomorrow you will have more understanding what exactly do we mean by semi-structured, structured, partial, full, those things. And then the again sample sizes will be discussed. So this is one slide. Please remember this thing. Take a printout or note it down. And if you are seriously going to follow one of these approaches or methodologies or the design that you're going to adopt, please follow these also side by side. Now, this one, I'm not going to talk about it. Not even this thing. Okay, now there is one more thing that I want to share in terms of the sampling, especially in when you are talking about non-probability sampling techniques. Now, you see, we have a lot of sampling techniques. The most common ones, however, non-probability and probability, they are the 2 categories which I'll be discussing it again in one of these slides. Right now, remember that if it is a non-probability sampling technique are being taken care in the form of in qualitative. They talk in terms of heterogeneous, homogeneous, theoretical, typical case, critical case, extreme, opportunistic. For example, me traveling in that bus, it was an opportunistic and it was relieved through the person. I never approached it. So similarly, heterogeneous, where you will see a diverse characteristics. For example, if I have to study about the farmers in India, now the farmers in Kashmir are very different from Himachal Pradesh to the northeastern or to Gujarat or down south, because the techniques are very different and you cannot say. However, in order to perform some study, I can use the heterogeneous and I can proceed further. Similarly, homogeneous means the similarities that you can see. For example, the tourist arriving to India, they book it up completely and they say that the first destination they would like to go is Delhi, and then they spend around 2-3 days, then immediately they want to go to Agra, then they want to go to Mathura, Vrindavan, and then they would like to go to Kashmir, and from Kashmir, if they come back to Delhi, then they want to go to South India. Now, you see, at that time, those will be the homogeneous. Theoretical ones is one thing that I'm taking up from the most popular theories. For example, nowadays, when we are looking in the pandemic, so you have this particular pandemic, social distancing has become another concept for us. Through the social distancing, entrepreneurial ventures or the startup ventures, you can think about and see what changes have taken place. In the earlier theories for the entrepreneurial ventures, it was the youngsters, in the sense that a 17-year-old till 25. However, now the things are changing, and now I can see the demographics changing to senior citizens also. So those are the theories that are changing. Typical case wherein that this is the most common fact which would be taking up, and then you are going to go ahead. Now, for me, these are some of them. I'll be talking about snowball and the convenience in the other part, or if I'm not able to complete it today, most probably tomorrow I would be able to go further and discuss this one. Now, this is another slide which I could receive it. Again, it is talking about the sample size with estimations. For example, grounded theory, I have already showed it to you, at least 25. Below it, not possible. Above it, 25 to 50. If you're getting it, that's fantastic. Now, similarly, if you are taking up exactly now, when is it that you can get more than this is going to be for the 6 interviews. The condition has been given to us by Corbin and Strauss in 2015, and this book is also shared. It is rare that 5 or 6 1-hour interviews will provide sufficient data. Now, for example, the interviews which CBI is taking care in the case of the SSR, now they are not focusing on 5 to 6 1-hour session. They are going ahead for 12, more than 9 hours, I would say. They are taking care. However, when scholars come to me and they say that, ma'am, we would like to go ahead, and especially if they are focusing on grounded theory, I tell them, if you are going over to the bank, then see to it that you're taking up one interview equivalent to 1-hour interview. Do not make it less than that, because tomorrow I'll be showcasing to you, when you are jotting down or noting the entire table that you're creating, the observations that you're going to make, it will be asking you date, how much time that you had thought about, number one, before taking the interview, in actuality or in reality, how much of time had been spent to you, who was the person that you were interviewing, the designation, professional, unprofessional area, each and everything has to be documented in your Excel sheet, and when you are publishing, these things has to be attached and given. So these things becomes really important. Similarly, in phenomenology, as I told you, there are 48 varieties of them. Now, one of them is hermeneutic, wherein more than 10 participants, if you have taken, that's fine. However, if you are going ahead with something else, some other form of phenomenology, we will see it has to be 30 participants. So you will understand that the rigorous in which the research is taking place, and here they have given you against it the reason as to how and why it has to be taken care of. Case study, especially basically, I would say all of you must publish one case study or multiple case studies, wherein if you are, okay, this is for descriptive phenomenology, around 12 participants. If it is multiple case study, 4 to 10. Okay, now within a single case study, 25 to 50 units is what you will have to understand, and here the explanation has been given to us. So this covers our sample size also, though I have collected some more. Now here, this is one more slide which I really liked it and I thought I should share it. This is from the Mason 2010, a book again, or I think it's an article if I'm not wrong. They have given you the sources, type of research. You can have a look: ethnographic 30 to 50, ethnoscience 30 to 60, if it is phenomenology 30 to 50. So are you able to see? Then if it is Creswell qualitative research, 5 to 25, at least 6 has to be taken. And if it is again from this person, he said 15 is the smallest acceptable sample. Please highlight it with the help of your marker and make it a point. Okay, then Sharma's has said 25 is adequate for smaller projects. If it is a bigger one, a large one, then 15 is enough. Richie has said it has to be 50. So this is one more slide that I wanted to showcase to you and make you understand. This I have done. Let me see. Okay, now this particular slide, which I am going to share it via mail, gives you the differences between stratified and cluster sampling. These are the two most common sampling methods that we use it. Especially, you can see that cluster sampling is meant for geographical area, schools, grade level kind of a thing. However, if you are talking about variables like age, gender, income, race for any domain, you will have to go for stratified sampling. So this kind of a things really help you to understand immediately, my variables are this thing. So you're not supposed to go ahead and start searching for. You should understand that yes, I'm supposed to go in for stratified. Tomorrow anyway, I will be discussing with you again as to different varieties of samplings which are present in qualitative. Today I'm just giving it to you what are the various one, and these slides will definitely help you to understand more and more. For example, here we are talking about stratified sampling and quota sampling, where and in what manner it has to be there. So I think I have shared one book focusing on population and size research designs in qualitative analysis. So please go ahead and you should read some of the pages which are present, and you can take care of it also. Now similarly, in this particular slide, you will see that I am giving you the other methods which are available and not just the ones. Okay, now please as many as I can so that you know I can proceed further. For example, participant observant. Then you have got ethnography, photography, ethnomethodology, then dramaturgical interviewing. It's like a drama that you are creating the scene, you know, in front of those participants. And then, for example, yesterday I was discussing about the consumption of Horlicks in the pregnant women, especially in one of the areas of Gurugram. If I'm going to focus on that, then, you know, I need to talk to them, okay, in a very dramatic manner, not in the reality way. Then sociometry, you know, this is another way in which you can really introduce the metrics which is available for us. Metrics in the sense of measuring guidelines have been given to you, and then any of the social problem which is existing in the society, you can pick it up and you are able to introduce it into that matrix in order to know more about it. Natural experiments, case studies, then you have got unobtruse. This one I'll be talking to you tomorrow again. Obtruse and obtruse measures, and we will talk content analysis, thematic analysis, film analysis, audio analysis, documentary analysis, all those things, even textual analysis. These are all part of your qualitative research. Qualitative research is a very vast one, unlike your quantitative research. And here you are really welcome to, and I've showcased to you that it's not just these varieties. However, within each of these methods or designs also you have got further divisions or the classifications. Let me proceed further with one more thing that I wanted to share. Okay, now not this. Okay, now this is one more that I wanted. Please bear with me. And here you can see type of samples. Unlike in quantitative, you have got stratified, cluster, lottery, all those things. However, here when we talk about qualitative, I have got purposeful, theoretical, total population, nominated, snowball, volunteer, solicited. Yeah, and you can see the kind of samples we have got in research in this one. And trust me, depending upon one sample itself, you can go ahead and you can publish a paper. You don't have to even go into the depth of writing the qualitative. Just with this one, for example, if you're taking up a total population, now I see that there are certain papers which are published wherein they are talking about the telecom industry of Pakistan, the telecom industry or nursing schools of let's say Canada. Now they're talking about such a huge thing rather than a sample out of the population. Now how do you tackle with those kind of a stuff? Now here comes in those things when you're talking about the total population, how to proceed further. Now there is one more slide. I think I should have saved it out here for you. Let me just see if I'm able to bring it out, and then I would be able to share it. Just a moment, please. Now I'm going to share a lot of them which you can later on discuss. And this is another slide which I really liked it. Between quantitative you can read, however I'm more important right now on the qualitative. Now you see when you are calculating a sample size, we have a formula. Now I'm not talking about that formula right now. However, remember that in qualitative no formula for sample sizes. Okay, usually we go ahead in this manner, which I have already discussed. If you are doing a phenomenological research, it would be 1 to 50, ethnography 30 to 50, grounded theory 30 to 50, ethological studies 100 to 200. Now remember, when you are going to read some of the research papers which are already published, if you find it that yes, it's a phenomenological paper and it has less than 150, just throw it away. Don't even read it. Now majority of the time we see these kind of things missing over there, so you are not supposed to give any importance to those things. Okay, so that is the reason why I wanted to share. Yes, here the one that I really wanted to introduce to you. Now see, the objective is build a pan Canadian tobacco control research network. Now, you see, they're talking about pan Canadian. So, what will be the sample outcomes and sample indicators? This is what I wanted to show. Increase interaction and engagement of tobacco control researchers. Okay. Now, indicators are what? Perception of engagement and research capacity enhancement. So, if you are planning to do, now here is the example, and examples would be like what? Website. If you're taking up a website, that means you are focusing on this one. Seed grants, newsletter, learning opportunities program. So all these areas are the one which will be using not those small sample sizes, however the one. For example, here they have given you develop equitable capacity within and across Canada. Now for example, when I did that qualitative report work on the urban cities or smart cities, and focusing on dengue, how they have controlled, especially in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh. When we did it, I was surprised saying that they're talking about the entire Riyadh. rather than just one part of it. Like if you know the geography of Riyadh, and you will see that they have classified at the north, south, east, west, central, central north, central south, you know, those kind of categories are available. At that time, you know, when you are going to take the control of the entire city, it becomes very difficult again. Now here you can see, again, if you look at the map, it is divided into provinces, territories, districts, cities, etc, etc, etc. However, we don't give so much of importance over to this thing. However, we just continue with the what I call it as our yeah, what do you call our research. Now similarly, build mechanisms for knowledge exchange and impact of it. Remember, when we are talking about impact, it's a again, for me, I'm using what I call it as the SEM model for me. So at that time, what kind of a things are taking place and how to understand. So here is the exceptional cases where we are not going to focus, and this goes especially for that person who is asking me about the sample sizes, especially in the quantitative areas. Now this is basically let me just increase the size of it. And here in this particular, okay, here we go. And let me just share with this one again. You will see that, you know, there are influences. For example, if you want to take care for the research design, because the session is for that. Now here you will find out influence is research perspective, whether it is biographical research, grounded theory, social representations on one side. And if this is your research design, then the components would be audiences and writing, intended generalization or intended comparisons. Okay, and this would be allowing you to go for doing the research. However, if it is the interest is basically theoretical, so it would be epistemological, background assumption, theoretical models, or the previous research. If this is going to be your area of interest, and then you would like to go ahead with the research designing, you need sampling, and then you can proceed further for the research. Now similarly, if I have to look at the methods part of it, if that is the one, remember methods includes our case studies and ethnographic, all those kind of stuff. Then you know, research design, then we carry forward with criteria and strategies for quality, what are there, and triangulation either between qualitative, quantitative. However, it cannot be quantitative because I'm focusing more. So you can see here the different methodologies which are present, how you are going to choose the research design, and what are the components to proceed further with the research part of it. So this is another slide that I really wanted to introduce to all of you. So I think with this, how can this end? Just a moment. Okay, now this is one more which I did it in my last workshop. So some of them already know about it. Let me just share it again. Now here, these are also some of the qualitative research, that the technical terms, and that's why I wanted to showcase to you. One-time research. Okay, then longitudinal one, wherein I told you you can take the time series or the years, and then you can do it. Diagnostic research, especially for you know, when you are talking about the medicine, doctors, nurses. Theory testing research also, if you want to compare two different theories, whether this theory is appropriate and the other theory is appropriate or not for your studies, and especially if you want to find out qualitatively what is missing this thing, because you have done the empirical investigation and you want to develop this one, so you can go ahead and you can do this theory testing. Similarly, theory building also you can carry forward, historical research, conceptual research, and empirical research. So these are another topics which I wanted them to be there. Now, apart from this, let's see if I have got something more. Uh, I think I do. If I miss out right now in this particular session, it would be mailed to you and you can look into it. Yes, here we go with the sampling. These are the different sampling, purposive sampling, which you cannot see over in the quantitative. Voluntary sampling, here I am just introducing this. I will be discussing it further tomorrow. Quota sampling, snowball, which is present, and then respondent driven sampling, especially again for social work, where you get the responses. For nursing, medicine, for them this is the best one. Similarly, how to go ahead, I'll be discussing in more depth tomorrow, since time limitation is there for me, and again I don't want to rush into this thing. Now, similarly, I have taken one more this thing also. Let me see if I can. No, not this. Case study. This I have done. This also I have taken, and this also I have done. Britain, Levant. I don't want policy. Doctors, medical health managers. Themes, figures, total 15. I don't want this. Okay, now this is one more study which was done, and you can have a look at the sample size. Okay, now, and the qualitative analysis that they have used, and later on, and I'll tell you how they have done. Prospective descriptivism. Now, you see, I told you different schools are there, and under descriptivism, this is one of the schools which is the design for us, and retrospective, because this is from the nursing school, so there are different descriptive, and these things can be used in geography. This can be used even in I think all the domains of knowledge. So if you understand what it is and how to carry forward, you can definitely use them. Data collection procedure, they have mentioned to you as to how to carry forward. I'm more interested in the sample. Now, for example, if it is face-to-face interviews, you're taking care, let's say, for the bank employees, then 12 bank employees in a particular city in different branches is what the sample size would be for you if you are performing this one. Data analysis, especially will be by this method, which I haven't yet introduced. Tomorrow I would be introducing these methodologies also. If you are taking care of the retrospective one, remember it's a long one because it's a retrospective, so you are taking a lot of patients. I would say 322 is quite less. However, they have discussed about them also side by side. So this maybe tomorrow I'll discuss again. Um, this is basically for another one which I took it from a book or an article, I think so. Yes, it's an article. It is just below it. I have mentioned out here AJ Veal and S. Darcy 2014 research methods for sports studies and sports management. Method is, just see, this is very common for all of us. Convenience, criterion in the sense that demographic, like for example, you want to focus exclusively on the age group. For example, I want to focus on let's say the mental attitudes of individuals above 60 years, you know how they are. So when I'm mentioning, I have already created the criterion. This leverage freedom you have got for the qualitative research, however you don't have in the quantitative. Homogeneous, opportunistic, which I told you, if an event is taking place and you have been the part of that event, you can go ahead and you can write a wonderful qualitative research paper for that. Maximum variation, it would be if a lot of variation, then it will not be homogeneous, it would be a heterogeneous, and that's a very good case for you to go ahead. If a homogeneous, we will, some of you who would be joining me up for the meta-analysis, meta-synthesis, I would be discussing over there, and you can understand also. Similarly, purposeful, whether it is going to be useful for me or not is something that we need to understand and go. Snowball, interviews, source of suggestion. This I'll be discussing. Sample sizes, how the sample sizes differ in qualitative and quantitative. So you would be able to understand when I'm talking about snowball, how it is being taken care in the quantitative and how it is being taken care in the qualitative. So here you can see snowball technique, which is there. Interviews, source of suggestions for contacts. So you through the contacts that you have got, you proceed further and then you perform. So the sample technique would be the snowball one. Similarly, there are other ones. I'll be focusing them again tomorrow. I think with this I'm going to stop right now, and it has been a long session, definitely, yes, for majority of you, and I did not give any kind of break in between today, because I was sure that I need to complete with philosophical assumptions, which I'm sure majority of you have understood. Then qualitative methodologies, designs, and part of sampling I have been able to complete today. Tomorrow again I would be touching upon this particular topic, and then we can get a hold of what exactly sampling is in qualitative studies. So I think with this I'm going to end the my portion. If there are any questions, some of you can raise it and you can let me know. In case you feel that yes, there are no this thing, then maybe we can go ahead and you can let me know. Yes, Nimisha ma'am, it was very long today. I did not even take the break in between, because I was sure that I have to complete with this particular I would say my discussion on sampling also side by side, so that we are able to go ahead and understand the different things which are available to us. So if you think that yes, no questions today, however you would like to ask me later on, choice is yours, all yours. However, all this material, the one that I have shared today, would be mailed across from my side, and I think all of you must go ahead and share your mail IDs in the WhatsApp group, so that it becomes easier for me to take care of it also. Yes, ma'am. These things, nobody discusses, I would say, in the basically in the workshops or in the training forums. And that is the one reason I decided and I planned along with Ayush. And I said that I would be able to proceed further with these kind of a things. And this gives you all an opportunity not only to learn more about qualitative research, however, to understand it from that perspective. And this is just an introduction. Let me tell you, I did not even enter into the depth of it, and that is the reason why I thought I should give away. And tomorrow you will see sampling is something that I have to touch upon and make you understand with that, and then proceed further with phenomenological discussion tomorrow. Along with, I don't know whether I'll be able to introduce all 48 schools tomorrow. However, the most popular schools of phenomenology, I'll be introducing them for all of you. And if some of you are interested, just let me know, for that other, what do you call, the other workshop that I'm doing exclusively on Sunday. I will ask them to add you in the group, so that all of you, some of you who are keen in learning the other things also can be part of it. For example, just let me showcase it to you. I'll just take another 5 minutes, and then I will wind up the entire thing. And you can see, because Sundays usually we are free, and from 11 to 5, just give me a moment, I'll share you the topics. And majority of you, I would love, because these things cannot be I should say again and again repeated. So, if some of you are interested, let me just open up. Just give me a moment, please. So, you can just let me know either in the WhatsApp group or here, and I will definitely add you into that particular group also. I'll request the concerned team to introduce all of you, and you can be part of that. Just a minute. I'm just waiting for it to open. Okay, here we go, and let me just share it so that you can learn about the other concepts which are there, and that is because it's again absolutely free. So you can learn. Let me just share it very quickly. Where is this button? Here we go. Now have a look. This is a day one, is something that I have already gone on this Sunday. Coming Sunday, I'm touching upon introduction to reviews in research, different kinds of reviews, then introduction to reviews pertaining to scientific management and social sciences, then what are traditional reviews, systematic, literature, scopic, narratives, interrogative, then umbrella, rapid, qualitative, list of reviews in business, journalism, mass communication, social sciences. On day three, that is not this Sunday, the coming Sunday, it would be on qualitative, quantitative, then systematic reviews, meta-analysis, softwares that are being used, because I'm focusing on R software. So I'm introducing that also, how to do meta-analysis with R, systematic reviews and meta-synthesis, how to perform meta-synthesis. Day four, again, this focuses on these topics which I'm showcasing out here. Day five focuses exclusively on R software. Right from the scratch, I'm doing it. So if some of you are interested to learn about it, you are most welcome, and I'll be taking care of each one of you. That's number one. Okay, Yasmin, just share your mail ID and your contact number, just the I would say mail ID in the WhatsApp group. Then I'll take you up to that also side by side. So those things start off in the morning at 11 and end up around 4:30 on every Sunday. So that is what it is. So others also who are there, just let me know. Now with this, I'm ending the session right now. Tomorrow again, some of you should be present sharp at 6 o'clock, and I would be focusing on tomorrow, part of it on sampling, and then immediately I'll be jumping into phenomenology. So that is the agenda for me for tomorrow. So thanks a lot for attending this particular session with me. And Gokul, I would be sharing the video, or Ayush sir, with you, and you can directly upload it on the YouTube also side by side, sir. Okay, so till then, thank you. Sips,
Good evening,
evening,
ma'am.
good night. Yeah, good evening. So
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the
I'm
wonderful
ending the
session.
session
There was
right now.
many insights
So
which you
can
gave
we
us.
all meet tomorrow again? Till then, thank you and take care. Bye.